What's bonking, guys? Today I am talking about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Eyes of Heaven. So if you've paid attention to any of my JoJo videos, you would have seen this gameplay in the back. I should advise you, I'm not very good at it. I'm admittedly kind of bad at Eyes of Heaven. Yeah, but with out of the way, I figured, I wanted to make more JoJo videos. And I was thinking about it, and what better to talk about than the very than the very game you guys are seeing. So I figure I'll just give an overview of what Eyes of Heaven is, explain it a little bit without giving too many spoilers. I figure maybe I'll encourage some of you guys to play it because I think it's a fun game. So basically, Eyes of Heaven, as far as I know, it takes place in an alternate universe, like a parallel universe. Or maybe it takes place in the main universe that then branches. I think that's what it's supposed to be. But it is technically non-canon, so I guess it is a parallel universe. But basically, the game begins at the end of part 3. So, I don't want to spoil the end of part 3, all of it, but I'll just put it this way. You, Joseph, and Polnareff, which is one of the Stardust Crusaders, are parting ways. You guys are, leaving. Joseph and JoJo go back to Japan, and Polnareff goes back to France. That's what happens at the end of Stardust Crusaders. But in the game, the same thing happens, but I want to say it's Joseph and JoJo suddenly encounter certain friends that died. And they're like, wait a minute, they're dead. Why are they back? And that is because of a Dio variant. So I guess I should probably let you guys know it's been a while since I played the beginning of Eyes of Heaven, so my memory of it is a little iffy. I could be off on some things, but I finished it like last year. Yeah, I finished it like last year, but I started it like 3 or 4 years ago. And the reason I stopped for so long was because I didn't want to spoil myself, because playing the game has some light spoilers for the parts, but it's nothing too crazy. So I stopped when I got to part 6, and then I waited till after the anime, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's right, I can go back to it. So yeah, anyway, now that's out of the way. Basically, so these people are being reanimated by a alternate universe Dio, and I don't mean like Diego, like not like a Steel Ball Run Diego, but a Dio from a parallel universe where he won. I guess this is kind of a spoiler, but it's also not a huge one. JoJo does beat Dio at the end of part 3. I'm sure you can see that coming. And so in this alternate universe, that didn't happen. In this alternate universe, Dio won. And, he lifted up the road roller, he sucked out JoJo's blood, and, he became stronger. And I don't remember exactly what all else happened, but he basically achieved his heaven plan, which you learn about in part 6. And he becomes Heaven Ascension Dio, or Dio over Heaven. You may have seen it. He's all white, but his hair is still blonde, and he has like gold accents. He looks really cool, actually. And he basically, he's the strongest character in all of JoJo. Of course, technically it's the second, but yeah. He is the strongest for most of the game until the end. And basically, that's because he can just overwrite reality. Like all of the strongest stands, a certain Requiem that can alternate, that can basically undo actions and revert things back to 0. Tusk Act 4, they get manhandled by him. They get stomped. So, Dio over Heaven has the World over Heaven, which is also white with like goldish yellow accents. And yeah, he is the strongest. So basically, he is using his powers. I don't remember the specifics again, but he's like reanimating dead Joe Bros and all that. And, other dead characters. And so you have to fight these characters, and you are able to cleanse them using Holy Corpse parts, which are from part 7. I kind of spoiled those in a different video, but in the Steel Ball Run video, I steered clear of them. But I guess I'll go into a little bit of detail about them. They are they're basically Jesus' corpse, is the best way I can describe it. And merging with those parts in Steel Ball Run is what gives you a stand. So Johnny merges with the left arm, and that's what gives him Tusk. Or I believe Funny Valentine merges with the heart. I probably shouldn't have even mentioned Valentine. I won't get into the other parts, but yeah. So merge in with the part, or actually, no, I won't even get into that. But merging with the part can give you a stand, and they are also exist in Eyes of Heaven, and merging with them gives you it gives you the ability to like cleanse or like purify these like reanimated people. And basically Dio's goal is to get the corpse, the saint's corpse. I can't remember how it makes it to the main universe, because it doesn't exist. It exists in the Steel Ball Run universe, so I don't remember how it gets to Jotaro's universe, but somehow it does. And I should mention both universes are mixed in this case. Like the original with the first 6 parts and the Steel Ball Run universe are one, I think. I don't remember. Maybe they're still separate, but there are Steel Ball Run and JoJoian characters in this game. So I don't remember how that happens. My guess is it would be due to Funny Valentine. I won't spoil, but he has a certain ability that can make that possible. So that's my guess, but I don't remember. It's been a while since I played the beginning. But basically, you are using these corpse parts to go around and purify the reanimated people, and they join your side, and you are trying to collect the Holy Saint's corpse. Each Joestar collects one, because I want to say there's 8 parts. There's 8 there's 9 JoJos, but in the game there's only 8. I want to say they each get a part. I can't remember. And Dio was trying to collect them as well. And at one point he gets all of them but one, I want to say. And yeah. Well, I don't want to get into spoilers, but basically, yeah, like you're collecting the parts, trying to fight Dio over Heaven. So he's really strong. He's really cool. Eyes of Heaven is pretty fun. I don't really know how I'd describe. I mean, you can see the combat for yourself. It's honestly pretty simple. What makes it so hard for me is like aiming. Like you could be right next to them, and if you use the attack, like there's a solid chance. Like let's say, like they're right in front of you. Like imagine it like a chessboard. Like if you're on a black square, and they're on like the black square like to your top right, you could be using the attack, and you just might not hit them. Like you might just hit the white square in front of you, unless you're locked onto them. But then if you're locked onto them, it makes it so you're always looking at them. And then sometimes, if you're not careful with the joystick, it'll switch to the other opponent. So I don't like using locking on, but not using it kind of results in me getting my ass kicked. So, I mean, there's sometimes I do really well, and there's other times I do horribly. Like, I'm really bad with Johnny, because Johnny's kind of ass. He just rides around on Slow Dancer using his fucking fingernails, and you have to wait for his fingernails to reload. And again, if you don't lock on, his fingernails are not going to hit. And then once he gets knocked off Slow Dancer, he's just a sitting duck. So, but there's some other characters. Like I want to say I was really good using Old Joseph, but I can't remember. It just kind of depends. But I digress. So yeah, like that's the combat, and basically well, the story's original. Like it's all different. Like you're not replaying old fights, except for the first fight. The first fight is Dio versus Jotaro, which did happen in the anime, and it ends the same way. So you are reenacting that fight. Everything else is completely original, except one more fight, actually, which I do want to bring this up. I wish I had a clip of it, but I can't record the story, which I mentioned this in my Persona video, but I don't have a capture card, and so there's certain parts of games I can't record. But I can't record the story, which sucks, because I really wanted to record this fight. So I might find a clip on YouTube and just say fuck it to the copyright. But there is a level where you have to fight against Darby in poker. So if you haven't seen JoJo, that wouldn't make any sense to you. But in part 3, one of the opponents that the Stardust Crusaders encounter is, I believe it's Daniel T. Darby. It's Darby Older, which I believe is Daniel. And he's a gambler. And you have to basically fight him for your friend's souls in a game of poker. And I won't spoil it. It's a really good fight. Go watch it yourself. Just watch all of JoJo if you haven't. But you reenact that fight in Eyes of Heaven. And you get to cheat. That's a very important thing, is cheating, or also stopping his cheats and his bluffs. And there's a mental gauge up at the top, and you're trying to move it more towards his side. So the best score you can get, which is like an S, because like you can get like different like grades for it. To get an S, you need to get his mental gauge all the way to your side, and you need to make him run out of chips. So like you can still win even if the mental gauge isn't all the way on his side, but it gives you a higher ranking of so. But it can be kind of hard to do because, you know, like my first time I got it all the way, but that's because I was bad at poker. I didn't know how to play it. So it took me a long time, and that made it so it slowly wore down his gauge. But now I'm good at the level, so I usually beat him too fast to actually get the gauge down. But yeah, I replayed that boss fight. Well, I wouldn't even call it a boss fight. I replayed that fight sometimes because I just think it's really fun. I'm not a gambler. I don't really care for it, but I think it's really fun getting to do that. So that's cool. And there's like certain skins you can unlock too. Like I might have some clips of them. And you know, you can play like online, you know, there's all kinds of other things. So yeah, I think Eyes of Heaven's a really fun game. I recommend it to you guys. And yeah, I just figured I'd talk about it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. And yeah, I guess I'll talk to you guys whenever I post something next. Hopefully I'll post I'm an ARC short with this, like around the same time, but we'll see. That may come a day later or 2 days later, or we'll see. Also, something else that I forgot during my initial recording is that basically you travel through the different parts. So like you start in part 3, and then from there, I want to say it's to part 1, and then part 5, and then part 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, I think is the order. I don't quite remember, but I know 3 is first, and the order is a little off, but eventually it kind of goes back to normal. And so you're going to like rescue the JoJo's from each part, and you do get interactions that are really cool. Like you'll even see in the beginning of the battle, like the characters will talk to each other. So you'll see like JoJo talking about, you know, teaming up with Polnareff. So in the game, you'll see like young Joseph and old Joseph meet each other. And, you know, young Joseph's like, who's this geezer? And old Joseph's like, you know, who's this cocky little brat? And it's, you know, each other, you know, it's Joseph just from different time periods. So you'll see like that, or you'll see like people from part 4 who see part 3 Jotaro and like, hey, there's Jotaro, but he's like way younger. Or Jolene's like, hey, Dad. And again, it's a part 3 Jotaro where he's 17 and he doesn't have a daughter. So, you know, it's like interesting encounters like that I think personally make the game so fun.